hours of activism.
There's certain fights, if we don't engage, they win. This is a fundamental question of who we are.
And delivering your daily dose of comedy.
Donald Trump, when he had his physical, they had his blood pressure, and mine is higher than his. Oh. And the irony is mine is higher because of him.
From the blue wave.
We flipped. Enough seats to take control of the House. We control the House.
To 2020 and beyond. This is the Dean Obeidallah Show on Sirius XM Progress, Channel 127.
And welcome to the show, brothers and sisters, Wednesday, February 12th. I'm Dean Obeidallah, back in New York from New Hampshire. I was there since Saturday, attended so many rallies with the Democrats. We sat down and interviewed Senator Bernie Sanders and other candidates, called into the show live. It was great. It's still, I am here to be your MBFF. First thing, reminder, 265. That's how many days to the most important election of our lives. 265. That is our judgment day. That is judgment day for this year, the next year, and years to come if we don't remove Donald Trump. It is judgment day. And every day, Donald Trump reminds us of why he is unfit and a threat to this republic. We're seeing it right now with his scandal with Roger Stone, how he's interfering in the prosecution of his friend because they've been buddies for life. And by the way, Roger Stone lied to protect Trump. It was part of the Russia investigation. Roger Stone lied to Congress and threatened a witness because he was trying to keep secret how they were using emails from the Russians and WikiLeaks. It was actually Russian-hacked emails given to WikiLeaks. That's what Roger Stone lied about to Congress. He lied for Trump. So, first of all, we should stop calling him Roger Stone, the friend of Trump. He's the accomplice of Trump. Trump's accomplice. Trump is trying to help his accomplice. Think about this objectively. Take a moment. You're reading the paper. You read about another country. Their leader has a good friend who lied to protect him. And that leader interferes in the prosecution to help the person. You would say, of course, well, that's a banana republic, or that's an authoritarian regime. Nope, it's the United States of America, which is creeping to becoming an authoritarian regime, a fascist regime. This is the path we are on. So, and now there might be more prosecutors and DOJ resigning in protest. 4 resigned from the case, 1 from the DOJ completely yesterday in opposition to this. And, Trump's happy about that. Bottom line, folks, criminals hate prosecutors. Donald Trump is a criminal. He hates the prosecutors. He wants them out. The only people he wants working in that office are those who will protect him. Just like Putin in his prosecutor's office wants only fake prosecutors who will prosecute his enemies and protect him. That's what's going on. So let's talk about New Hampshire first. Because, first of all, what a difference a week makes. A week ago, we were sitting here. Donald Trump just did the State of the Union. Iowa was a debacle. They couldn't count. Turnout was about the same as 2016. There was no great action on our side showing energy. Donald Trump's approval ratings were going up. There was almost panic on our side. What a difference a week later. New Hampshire happens. Record Democratic votes cast. Record. Most ever. Donald Trump's approval ratings are not going up anymore, and they are sliding down. And I always use 538 polling to keep it above board. So I will always look at that. They do great averages. Now, Trump's approval ratings that were a little higher last week, guess where they are now? Back down to 43% approval rating, 52% disapprove. And if those are the numbers on election night, we've not only got Trump gone, we've got the Senate. So things are not going well, and Trump is spiraling out of control. Just spiraling out of control. There's no other way to put it. He doesn't know what to do next. He is panicked. He sees his political mortality staring him in the face, and he will do anything to stay in power. So I was happy, though, New Hampshire pushed back hard on Donald Trump's narrative that Democrats don't care and he thinks he's going to win. I wish you were all with me in New Hampshire. The energy we saw, event after event, from even Joe Biden, a few hundred people, all really happy to see Joe Biden, to Bernie Sanders, who had an event, over 7,000 people showed up on Monday night for his event there. So Donald Trump's like, I got 10,000. I had his other rally. Bernie's been doing events all over the state, got 7,000 on a Monday night. And I went to the massive rally on Saturday for all the Democrats that were there. It was called the McIntyre Shaheen Dinner. Thousands in the same arena where Trump had his rally, thousands of Democrats cheering. And I got to watch every candidate come on the floor. It was like Presidential Idol. They all did for like 7 minutes. And it was great. And the energy in the room was palpable. There was some booing between the Bernie people and the Buttigieg people. But besides that, everyone was pretty much on board. And it was an exciting night. So what we know for the results, and first, before we get into the candidates, because I really want to get your reaction on how New Hampshire, did it change your view at all? Do you like a candidate more or less now? Does it impact your view on will Bloomberg get more traction? We'll talk about that later. First, the good news that we should all be happy regardless what candidate you might like. In 2016, 250,000 votes cast in the Democratic primary in New Hampshire. To be specific, 250,983. Wasn't that great? 2008 was the record number of votes cast. That was Obama versus Hillary Clinton and John Edwards. 288,672 votes cast. How many yesterday Democratic votes cast? 295,129 and still counting. It might creep up to closer to 300,000 votes. This is 20% higher turnout than 2016. 20%. That's the energy level. And I could tell if you were there, you would have seen it yourself. Like, these people are fired up. What about the GOP primary? And by the way, it was a contested primary. William Weld, the former governor of Massachusetts from the neighboring state, was there campaigning. He had his ads up. He had signs all over. GOP, again, Democrats, 295,000 votes cast. Total GOP primary votes cast, 133,000. And Trump got 124,000 on a percentage basis. He only got 85% of the vote. So much for 95% of Republicans supporting Trump. He only got 85% in New Hampshire yesterday. And he's not happy. I mean, this is why he's freaking out. He sees the numbers. He loves polls. He loves numbers. He sees when his numbers are going down. So we all know the results. Bernie Sanders won. Buttigieg close second. Amy Klobuchar surprise third. And I want to play one clip from Bernie's victory speech last night, because he made a similar point in his rally Saturday, in the big rally, not his rally, the Democrats' rally. And people give Bernie a lot of crap for maybe not being a real Democrat, not party unity and all that. I can tell you this, on Saturday, when I watched all candidates and they all got 7 minutes, Bernie was the only one that used about a minute of his speech to make an impassioned plea for party unity. The only one. Everyone spoke. No one did that. Only Bernie. And I'm saying this because it's objectively true, not because I'm trying to get people to support Bernie. Whoever you're going to support, you support. I respect that. So here he is at his victory rally last night. And what does he do? He spends time applauding the other candidates by name and telling the crowd there to respect them and that we are going to unite. And that's how we win. Let's hear Bernie from last night, clip number 1.
And tonight I want to take the opportunity to express my appreciation and respect for all of the Democratic candidates we ran against. Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden. And what I can tell you with absolute certainty, and I know I speak for every one of the Democratic candidates, is that no matter who wins, and we certainly hope it's going to be us, we are going to unite together. We are going to unite together and defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
So that is such a great message. We are going to unite. We're going to win. And he's saying, I hope I'm the winner. But even if I'm not, we are going to unite. Every candidate should be saying that. I want every candidate to make the point, win or lose, our ultimate goal is removal of Donald Trump, not just any of those people winning the nomination. And some of the exit polls, if they give you any sense of the voters up in New Hampshire, show people who were self-professed, quote, very liberal, voted overwhelmingly for Bernie Sanders. And younger people, he won. 51% of those under 30 years old, he won. 42% of those under 45. On the ideological divide, Buttigieg and Klobuchar essentially tied among those people who said they were moderates or conservatives. Among late deciders, if this is meaningful Buttigieg won 29% of that, compared to 24% for Klobuchar, 16% for Sanders. And I can tell you this, we were there. We went to a Klobuchar event right after our broadcast on Monday. It was right down the street. They had just thrown it together. Several hundred people came out. Remarkable energy. And I saw Senator Klobuchar Saturday, the big event with all the Democrats. Crowd was cheering for her. They liked her a lot. She was very impressive because her debate on Friday in New Hampshire, she was hands down considered the winner by many people who were pundits and audience members. In fact, I want to play Klobuchar, and I played this yesterday. This was Monday night around 10 o'clock at night, her last rally before people started voting the next day, and her telling people what she's been seeing around the state and how excited she is since the debate on Friday night. Here's clip number 2, please.
All over New Hampshire today, as you probably know, and it was a pretty fun thing to wake up to find out in 2 separate polls, including the Boston Globe, we are now number 3. And got the news from Justin, our campaign manager, right here. From regular people online, we raised over $3 million.
So she had a great night. That's not the victory night. That's not last night. That's Monday night. And the odd thing is, we flew back today from Boston Airport. We drove up from New Hampshire. Who's on my flight? Senator Amy Klobuchar. So I see her boarding. And me being me, I walked up to her and I said, congratulations. I said, here's my card. We've been trying to get you on my show for 2 months. We've been emailing her staff and aides and talked to him, and we couldn't get her on yet. And I said, I hope you'll come on. And she was very nice and said, I wish I had 2 more days in New Hampshire. I would have beaten Buttigieg. She told me that wasn't, she didn't say off the record, so I can tell you what she said. So I'm hopeful we'll get her on. She was nice. She gave the card to her aide, and we'll follow up in emails. We've been trying to get her and Mayor Buttigieg on this show. We're trying to get all the candidates. We've even tried to get Tulsi Gabbard numerous times. So you can hear from them directly, not through surrogates, because we could get surrogates all the time. And now, when we're getting less candidates and they're going to more states, we probably will have more surrogates on. That's the nature of it. But here and there, we will still have the candidates on directly as often as possible. So I just wanted to emphasize first the good part of what happened last night. Obviously, there's some negatives for some of our candidates. Some of the candidates we all like a great deal. Joe Biden finished 5th. He gets no delegates from this. Moves on to Nevada and South Carolina next. That's his firewall. If he doesn't win there, I'm not sure if he continues or not. And, we watched him in an event in New Hampshire, and watching them in an event that's theirs with a few hundred people and not the debate. Joe Biden is so much more comfortable, so much more engaging and funny and warm than on the debate stage, which is artificial. And I wish more people could see Biden in that setting. And I think perhaps his poll numbers would have turned around, because any kind of inconfidence or questions people have as he passes prime when they watch the debates, if you see him in a much more comfortable setting, you wouldn't say that at all. You're like, wow, he's excellent. And then Liz Warren, and truly disappointing, being a very progressive person that I am, that I so like Liz Warren. And when she was leading in the middle of the summer, I was excited about that, not just for Liz Warren, but for the progressive movement as a whole. And she slid to 4th and is just sliding and sliding. And I don't know if she can turn it around. I really wish she can. I'm not sure. And only time will tell. In fact, we have Julian Zelizer, the Princeton professor, in the second hour, and we'll talk about historically, if candidates like Warren or Biden, who have slid after 2 events instead of going up, going down, what does history tell us? How likely is it they turn things around? Next up, the next contest, they're on Saturdays, which is kind of good, that more people hopefully can vote because they don't have to work. But the next one's not till February 22nd. That is Nevada. It is a caucus on Saturday, February 22nd. It's worth 48 delegates. The week after, South Carolina, even more delegates, 63 delegates. Again, that's Saturday, February 22nd. It's the next event, a contest. It's a caucus. Let's hope they can count better than Iowa. No offense to the people in Iowa. I'm just saying I hope it goes better. February 29th, South Carolina. And just 3 days later, Super Tuesday. 14 contests across the nation, from California to the East Coast and states in between. And if history is instructive here, after that, after March 3rd, we might be down to 2 or 3 candidates. Except for the fact that billionaires can stay in. Tom Steyer, like my friend, could stay in as long as he wants. If he doesn't do well, that's up to him. It's Bloomberg, that's the first time he'll be on the ballot. Nevada and South Carolina reflect America far more than Iowa or New Hampshire, which were literally, folks, not exaggerating, literally over 90% white, both states. That's not an exaggeration. That is, if you look at the census numbers, that's their exact numbers. You get to Nevada, vastly different. 10% of the population is African American, 29% Hispanic. That's over the national average. So there could be a real impact. And if you're Latino, this is the state where I hope the activists from the Latino community press the candidates on issues of concern to their camp, to them. Same thing for black voters. And South Carolina, 60% or more of the Democratic electorate is African American. So they are clearly in South Carolina. The black activists can press the candidates, all of them, to go on the record on issues of concern to them. And that's what this is about. It's not the pundits to vet them. It's not for these polls to tell you who's winning. It's for each community that has something to lose or to gain to press the candidates when they come through your state. Whatever that issue might be. It might not be an issue dealing with your race, your ethnicity, or your sexual orientation, or gender identity, but it might be. And this is the time for you to talk about it to them. This is the time you ask them tough questions and say, what are you going to do about this? And be as specific as possible. Press them. This is what it's about. Go to the town halls. It's remarkable in town halls. They ask them everything. It's not like they're running for president. It's like they're running for Board of Ed. They ask them every question about minutia, little minor things. Go out and do it. Don't feel like if you haven't been to one of these town halls, they're coming to your state. Well, I don't know if I should ask something so specific to my community. No, this is it. This is the time. Do it. And the press is there and they have to be on record answering. The hard thing is it's unlikely you get a chance to ask a follow-up question. So they might pivot quickly to something else, answer quickly. But if you can, try to press them for a follow-up. This is the time to do it. So let me ask you here. We're going to have, we'll take a break. We'll take some calls. Then Congressman Joe Kennedy, who's running for the U.S. Senate in Massachusetts against another Democrat, Ed Markey, is going to join us for a little bit. Then we'll take calls after that. I want to get your sense of New Hampshire. Did it change your view of any candidate in terms of your support or lack of support now? Did it change your view on who do you think can beat Trump? And the big question, Bloomberg. Bloomberg. What's your view now? Has this primary changed your view? Did you think he was more of the savior, but you watch this primary and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with this person. Or you go, nope, Bloomberg's the guy I got to go with now. Might not like every policy, but he's got the money. We heard that all over New Hampshire. I was on Joy Reid's show Sunday, and oh my gosh, she asked people in the audience there, who do you think's going to win the nomination? Bloomberg. And I'm going to vote blue no matter who. I'm going to work 150% no matter who. That's life. That's what I'm going to do. That's my commitment to save our nation. But I am so unsettled and disturbed at the prospect of sacrificing all of my principles and all of my values to support someone in the primary field now, just because I think they can beat Trump. I'm going to fight for the candidate that I believe when I go vote. On this show, there's no endorsements. Everyone comes on. I'm just telling you privately who I'm going to support. But whoever the nominee is, and if it's Bloomberg, I'm going to try to get him on all the time. I'm going to write articles pro-Bloomberg. I'm going to fight against Trump for him. I'll do everything. I'll knock on doors. I'll make phone calls for him. Not even a hint of hesitance. And this guy surveilled the Muslim community. He made life for Muslims in this city horrible. We thought anyone coming to the mosque or the community center we didn't know was maybe an NYPD undercover spy sent by Bloomberg. He sowed seeds of dissension within our community. So it was not good for us. But still, with that said, if he is a nominee, I'm going to fight for him every step of the way. So let's take a break, come back, we'll take a call, then we'll have Congressman Kennedy. He's only going to be for like 10 minutes, then we'll take more calls, 866-997-4748. Be right back.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
I think Trump clips that they play on the media should come with a health warning saying that if you watch this